Hey there, welcome to this week's episode of Hormonally Speaking. So, I wanted to take today to basically answer some questions that I get all of the time, which are what are some of my favorite products for different things? What are some of my favorite supplements for hormones? What are some of my favorite skincare options? All of those things. I get these questions all the time. So, I thought I would just do an episode telling you about some of my favorites for different things, right? So, pertaining specifically to different things. So, I'm going to do just a few today. I'll do another episode like this later on, probably in the summer, to share some others. But these are big ones for either myself or my clients, mostly combination. I do like to try almost everything that I recommend, right? The only time I don't try a supplement or dietary approach or any of that stuff is if I don't have the need for it at all, if it's a specific thing that is being targeted that I don't have that issue, because you don't really want to use something that is not going to be, useful to you because it may even be damaging. So I'll just put that out there right now. But the things that I am recommending today, if I haven't used them myself, I've used them with multiple clients and know that they work. So very important, right? Because every day there is a new supplement company out there. There are products on the market. And I just want to make this point really quick before I go into my recommendations, is that so much on the market is not regulated, right? So people ask me all the time, oh, what can I get at Walmart or CVS or even Whole Foods that's a quality supplement? And I tell them basically you can't. There are a couple of brands on occasion, like Now is a brand that you can find Whole Foods sometimes, a lot of times maybe more in like smaller local health food stores, that I'm a fan of. I've been a fan of Now for a long time. They're one of the quality, affordable supplement lines. So that's one. But in general, most of the others that you're going to find at those stores are not great. Sometimes it's okay if you need to just kind of like grab some melatonin. But even, for example, there's a brand of melatonin, I don't remember the name of it, or excuse me, a supplement brand that you can get at like regular, grocery stores and Walmart and stuff like that. If you look at the melatonin that they have, it has wheat in it, and it's just drives me crazy, right? So things like that, and ways to really think about looking at supplements is looking at the ingredients in there. Like there are so many brands with so many fillers. We don't know even how much of the supplement that you're taking that you're actually getting because of those fillers. If you don't know where they're getting the raw materials, if they're not open about where their raw materials are coming from, then it's not a brand that you should trust, right? And there's so many things, especially on Amazon these days, that are like, oh, it'll cure you of this. It'll, get rid of that. No, they should not be saying cure, getting rid of, or any of those things. So really working with brands that primarily sell through practitioners, I find those are generally the safer brands, right? And the way that you know that is I can contact the companies I use and ask for their like certificate of, authenticity and where the raw materials come from and all of those things. And I'm gonna know. I mean, sometimes they'll have proprietary information that they're not gonna share, but for the most part, you're gonna know where everything's coming from. You're going to know the specific formulas, and that they put formulas together because they understand that usually just one nutrient isn't the way to go, right? You want to do multiple things together for the different body systems. Thyroid, for example, you don't want to just take like selenium for your thyroid necessarily. You want to take a combination that's going to have the thyroid nutrients in it that are going to be useful. So that's selenium and zinc and magnesium and tyrosine, and, getting those formulas that are really useful overall versus just a singular ingredient. So anyways, I went off on a little tangent there, but I just like to warn people, even if you find what's considered a quality brand on Amazon, yes, more of them are going on Amazon these days. Um, but if it doesn't say that it's directly from that company, it can be a knockoff and you're not getting what you're thinking you're getting. So if you find a cheaper supplement, it's not coming directly from that company, don't trust it. Because these things can do damage, right? It can not do you any good, and you're just wasting a lot of money because it's often more expensive on Amazon anyway. But two, there's things in there that you don't even know, and our bodies are so susceptible to these things that we put in our body, right? And that can change the balance of different nutrients, minerals, vitamins in your body. And so you really want to know what you're getting, and you want to know the amounts. And in general, I like people obviously to work with practitioners so that you can titrate the amounts of different nutrients that you're taking, so that you can test and see what your actual levels are of a lot of these things before you start taking them. But today we're going to talk about some basics that are generally good for everyone. It's not all supplements. But I will start off with some supplements. Collagen, huge thing these days, right? There's definitely some debate out there, in case you don't know, in case you haven't seen around the crazy, everybody take collagen marketing that's going on, that collagen is not a full profile of amino acids like a lot of people think it is, right? So what that means is having all the amino acids in it that makes up an entire protein. So it does not have tryptophan, which is an amino acid that is, utilized for a lot of different things, but it's definitely good for mental health. And some susceptible people, not getting that tryptophan can actually cause an increase in anxiety. So this is one of the sort of main things that I let my clients know. If they are prone to anxiety anyway, and they start utilizing collagen and they see their anxiety going up, then maybe that collagen's not a good idea. Or make sure that you get a brand where tryptophan is added. There's not really that many that I've seen. Or maybe even think about adding some tryptophan. I'm not really a huge fan of that either, because that can certainly, you need to know how much to add and that kind of thing. So I would just say maybe do a different protein powder if you find that you have more anxiety when you take collagen. But I will tell you, in terms of certain collagens, and I'm not even sure that they consider this just collagen. I guess it is. But it's the perfect amino from Body Health. And basically it says the 8 essential amino acids optimized for maximum utilization. And what that means is this is a highly absorbable brand. And it's really helpful if you want to build your muscle, speed recovery. I was turned on to it from a colleague who has had issues with sort of protein absorption. And one of the ways you can tell that is looking at your total protein on your labs. So yearly labs, if you get them done with your doctor, you can see total protein, right? And it's not just about protein, that number, but that can be a good indication of if you're getting enough protein, if you're absorbing enough protein. And usually if it's a lower number, we like to see it over 7. If it's a lower number, then that's not necessarily that you're not getting enough protein. It can be you're not absorbing the protein well. It can also be immune system markers that are part of that. And it can be an indication of some immunity issues. But really looking at that and saying, maybe my digestion's not working as well, that kind of thing can be helpful. So this colleague of mine started utilizing Perfect Amino, and that was the first time she ever got her total protein into what we call optimal range, right? So that's above 7. I like to even see it a little higher, 7.2, 7.3, that kind of thing. And it's essentially 5 of these capsules or tablets equate to 30 grams of protein. And so we know how important protein is, and we know that a lot of us struggle to get enough protein in a day. So this can be useful, and this is probably why it got her total protein up so much, right? You're getting, just by taking 5 a day, you're getting a 30 grams equivalent of protein to help your body, your skin, your nails, your hair, building that muscle, all those kinds of things. So I am a fan of it. I definitely started noticing a difference when I started taking it. Just ran out like a week ago, and I've noticed a difference not taking it. So that's a pretty good thing, right? When you actually notice differences. And basically, most of the supplements I'm recommending today can be found through my Fullscript store, which I will put in a link in the show notes. And you can get 10% off of any of those products when you sign up through my Fullscript store. So that is a good one for supporting hair, skin, and nails, muscles, etc., helping your protein up, in not a total comprehensive way as you would with, say, eating meat directly, or even some of the protein powders that have a full amino acid profile. But this is a useful supplement on top of those things. Next up is liposomal glutathione, and this is the Designs for Health one. I also like the Quicksilver one. They're pretty similar. They're pretty much exactly the same thing. And it's a liquid form of glutathione. So if you don't know glutathione, it is our master antioxidant. It is very important, particularly in phase 2 liver detox. And a lot of us are low on glutathione because we just burn through it with everything that we have to detoxify on a daily basis. You burn through it with pesticides, you burn through it with glyphosate, you burn through it in so many ways. If you're drinking any alcohol, those kinds of things. So many of us can use some glutathione support. And there's a lot of people these days that take NAC or NAC. I call it NAC. A lot of people just call it NAC, N-acetylcysteine. And that's great too. It's a precursor to glutathione. And NAC can be used in a bunch of different ways in your body too. But I will go to glutathione first if you're having liver issues, if you're needing some support in your liver, because the body has to convert the NAC to glutathione, and there's different levels of abilities when it comes to conversion processes, right? So I'm kind of like, go for the real deal just up front, and then later on you bring in NAC if you want to switch it up. And I like to switch up liver supports. One thing I will note about glutathione is if you try it and you feel sick, take less. Maybe skip some days. Sometimes if you really need it and it starts kind of upregulating things, you can actually feel that sort of detox sick effect. So just kind of pare it down a little bit. I don't really know that many people that end up feeling sick off of just taking the liquid supplemental version. That's more like if they do IV glutathione, their bodies can't handle it so well. In general, most people notice a positive benefit with liposomal glutathione. So again, that's Designs for Health or Quicksilver. Both of those are on Fullscript. Okay, so what's up next? I don't have it here, but one of my favorite approaches to utilizing medical foods is what it's called, through a brand called Metagenics. They have a great medical food called UltraGI Replenish for anyone that has serious GI issues, right? So that means people with Crohn's, that means people with ulcerative colitis, that means, if you just generally have some real deep issues in your gut. This is a medical food, aka it's essentially, a powder form that you add to a smoothie, you drink on its own, that kind of thing, to help heal and seal the gut lining. And I found with my clients that use it, they really like it. They really like the taste. which is not true with all protein powders. And it's a good, simple way to get in the nutrients that are going to help, like I said, heal and seal your gut, especially if you have any tissue breakdown that's happening in the gut. If you just had surgery, this can be a really good powder to bring in, medical food to bring in, abdominal surgery, that kind of thing. So I wish I had known about it. I didn't know about it when I had my surgeries and my, colon surgeries, but I've certainly utilized it myself in different times and utilize it with clients that have issues, like deep issues in their gut. So there's that. In terms of cleanses, because it is springtime, I really love the Paleo Cleanse from Designs for Health, comprehensive 14-day packet. And you can also get a veggie version because the paleo is bone broth. It's based on bone broth. And so obviously that's an animal one versus if you're veggie, the veggie one I think is pea protein. So basically you get protein powder that is going to have all the stuff in it that's going to help upregulate your liver detox. And then it also has little packets of certain herbs and other nutrients that are going to help sort of move things through and just give your liver a little bit of juice, a little bit of extra like oomph, as you pull back on sort of maybe your regular everyday things that you eat and things that you imbibe in, and all that kind of stuff. Give yourself a break a couple times a year. I'm a big fan. It helps us get back on track with what we're eating. It lets our system just rest. It's giving you extra nutrients to help your poor liver, which is just like working so hard every day. So big fan of that. And I actually will have a discount code to get that directly from Designs for Health in the notes. So it's a little bit cheaper than if you get it off of Fullscript. And let's see what else. This has come up recently with several of my clients in terms of vaginal issues and vaginal atrophy. If you are in menopause or later in perimenopause, when estrogen starts going down, there is some useful over-the-counter options. And Bezwecken is the hydration ovals. They make these hydration ovals. And basically you can get just hydration ovals that have like cocoa butter, vitamin E and beeswax, that's it in them, to help basically lubricate the vaginal tissues. You can also get them with DHEA and estriol in them. I think there's one that just has DHEA and then there's one that has both. And we know that even if you don't want to take systemic hormones when you go into menopause, that getting estriol or estradiol and DHEA to those tissues can help basically plump them back up if you started having atrophy happen, and also just giving juice and wetness to that area. So that can be a huge lifesaver, even if you've had cancer and you don't want to take any estrogen. This is not systemic. It is literally just going to impact your vaginal tissues. So we like that. You can get those on Fullscript also. And then finally for today, in terms of skin stuff, because everybody's always asking me about skin stuff, I do love my Anne Marie. You can see it here if you're watching the video. Anti-aging facial oil. Like this is the good stuff that has just, what I love about their products is that they're super, super clean. Like just, you don't have to worry about any extra horrible ingredients like we have so much in skincare, right? No xenoestrogens, which is so common in skincare. They are certified by Made Safe, and that's like one of the highest levels of certification of natural ingredients. Good stuff, right? I love the anti-aging facial oil. I just put it on my skin all the time, put it on my arms too, on my chest. And it goes a long way. And it smells amazing. I've got my mom hooked on it just from the smell. So they are doing a special intro for $19.99. You get basically little samples of their different things, including the facial oil. So I'll have the link to that in the show notes too. And then honestly, once you get the little samples and try it, you'll want to get the full real deal facial oil. It has definitely just been part of my uh, rotation here for probably almost a year now. And especially if you have rosacea or reddish skin, it's very helpful with just calming down the skin and like putting it on at night. So those cover a few of the things that I think are super, useful for protein, for liver health, for giving your body a little break, for your skin, for GI issues. So those are very common things that I see in my practice. So I wanted to just share those today. I will do another episode, like I said, like this later on this summer. Send me questions if you have specific, I can't answer specifically what will help you, but if you have some kind of issue that you want to sort of ask about, what could be some good supports, send that to me, and I can share with you some of the things that I utilize for my clients in these different scenarios and conditions. So, all right. Thanks so much for being here with me today. And I'll be back next week with a new guest. Be sure to check out past episodes if you haven't, if this is your first time here. Other thing that I would absolutely love, 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 love for you to do, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, please leave us a review. Best if you can actually leave a written review on iTunes. If not, even just doing the 5-star would be so helpful. On Spotify, I think you can only leave 5 stars. You can't write a review there. Those are great too. Share with anybody that you know would be, would find this information useful. We do so much. We cover so much when it comes to hormone health. And also subscribe. That's also super helpful. So thank you for being here with me today. I'll see you next time.